Billy and Max, congratulations on a super film.
Thank you so much.
Well done. It struck me as I was watching it, it's kind of genre-defying, isn't it? It takes weaves off in different directions.
Yeah, I think that's what we both like about it, really.
Totally.
Look, I can remember even, God knows why RT showed it, but when I was probably 14 or 15, they showed Terry Gilliam's Brazil, which is the most genre-defying film of all time. And so that's what, like, I just loved. And I kind of hate boxes, I think. And we seem to be increasingly getting into, like, if it's a horror, it's got to be this kind of horror and it's got to fit this way. Whereas the book this is based on was nuts and just had all the different thriller, horror, black humour throughout. So, yeah, we just ran with that.
Actually, Max, can you tell us a little bit about him? Because, you know, from the very surname of the character, there's a suggestion that he may, in fact, become a serial killer.
Yeah, it's a bit of a spooky name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna connect those questions, I think, or I'm gonna try my best. I think the thing that I love most about the film and the book and the script and the character is just the dichotomy between, like, the dark, kind of pretty dry, really funny stuff, and then also, like, the real, genuine sense of love, and also the desire to understand that love. Yeah, I think that's what. There's
a real tenderness to it, isn't there?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally.
But the lack of empathy thing, which can be funny sometimes, and also heartbreaking at times. It had another aspect in the book which I loved, which is we've all seen films, coming of age films, about the kind of outsider kid who gets badly bullied and is terrified of the bullies. But in this book, you've got a character who's terrified of killing the bullies, and I've never seen that. And that, I think, you know, as for teenagers, you know, I can remember being in school, I was bullied, it wasn't fun, you know. I think reading about something like, it's like having armor, you know, the fact that what is a massive problem of lacking empathy and having all these difficulties, in one sense, when you're a teenager, actually is pretty cool, because it means you're not afraid of anything, and John Wayne Cleaver is not afraid of anything.
Totally, it's a social asset.
Yeah, so that was fascinating, and Dan Wells really got to the heart of that in the book, I thought, you know.
And of course, these are themes that young people anywhere can relate to.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Are you finding, as you travel to festivals with the film, that there's a universality to it?
Yeah, like yesterday I got an email, I didn't tell you this, from a festival in Slovenia, and I'd met the organiser, and she said, we'd love your film to come, but I can't pick it because we have a junior branch of the festival I think would be perfect for, and what we do is the kids pick it. So last week she screened the film for 30, 16, 15-year-olds, and they had a rake of questions about John Wayne Cleaver, and they absolutely love it, and they've picked it, and it's going to be screened there. So that's great, you know. That's who I'd like to see the film, you know. It's good for that. And the scene from the book on that they all mention is the disco scene with the bully, because that's their life. That's what, you know. That's the great, like, hitting out at something kind of scene, you know. So that's quite cool.
The word legend gets bandied around a little bit too much, but I think we can apply it to Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you both tell me from your own perspective what it was like meeting him and working with him? Maybe Max?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a super real, sweet old fella who, you know, has a lot of wisdom, and he's rather shy.
He's rather shy. He doesn't have an ego. So there was none of this throw your weight around thing at all. So when Max met him, we had a couple of days rehearsal in this little hotel in the middle of the snow. I remember you brought your guitar up, and he was looking at you a little bit because you're sitting there just sort of waiting for us to begin the rehearsal. And then just both of you clicked, because he saw in you a really good young actor, and, you know, you weren't sort of in awe of the legend of him. You were just liking him as a person, and so he relaxed within 10 minutes and just hit it off. It was great. Yeah.
In terms of getting him on board, did you have to kind of shake off that legend thing as well and just talk to him about the project? Well, I remember the
first time I met him, he flew in, it was in a blizzard, and we met him, we booked a restaurant, quite a nice restaurant in Minneapolis, and we met him, and he is very shy, and he's also slightly deaf. So I was trying to think, I didn't know how he'd feel about Back to the Future, and I thought, I don't want to be a fanboy and go, I love Back to the Future, which I do, we all do, you know. Yeah. So I mentioned One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was his first starring role, the Milos Forman film. And, you know, he's incredible in it. It's, you know, it's an amazing film. And so I chatted to him about that, and that kind of relaxed him a bit, because I think even though he loves Back to the Future, coming straight in with that would have been really heavy. You know, it's like, Doc Brown is here, you know. It's
that's a big thing to live with.
You know, so that relaxed him. And I think at first there was 3 crazy Irish guys. He was a bit unsure of us, you know. But so I think Max was a safe haven after us, you know. But then he just relaxed into it. And once he saw as well that I didn't want a Doc Brown performance. He's done a few low budget films where they must have basically said to him, just do Doc Brown, and it's a terrible shame because you don't recapture your old greats, and he's a much better actor than that. So what he brought to this was a sensitivity and a kind of a simpleness which belies the kind of strength of the performance, you know. It's just incredible, and it's lovely that a lot of reviewers are saying it's the best thing they've seen him do in years, you know. That's great, you know. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And just finally, can we talk a little bit about the challenges of filming on budget at minus 20 degrees? That must have been a lot of fun, was it?
Do you know, actually, sadly, it was a lot of fun because, you know, after all the trying to get the film off the ground, and just like it was a mad little mining town, and it was just, you know, minus 20, minus 30, it was cold.
It was cold.
And you guys, always the actors have it worse because they've got to wear their costume, which means you've got a bit of room for some thermal underwear, but not much, you know. Whereas we're all like, we're like Michelin men behind the camera, like, come on, can you act a bit better? You know, we're all there warming that. But like, no, it's great. I remember like one night we had Christopher Lloyd crawling around at like 11 o'clock at night, and it was the coldest night of the whole shoot, and he didn't complain once, did he? He was great, you know.
Champion.
So no, that was all fun. The Revenant was out around the same time, and they made such a big song and dance about how cold it was. And I remember the locals like just shaking their heads because they live there. They deal with us all the time, you know. And our joke was like that, you know, our entire film's budget was probably their hot water bottle budget. You know?
Well, you've made a wonderful film on it. Congratulations
Thanks
again,
very
and
much.
thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.